Hi everybody, this is Yeli, and for those of you that don't know me, first of all, welcome, and for those of you that have been coming, welcome back. I am a type 2 diabetic. I started on Mounjaro. I had a reaction, contact dermatitis on the injection side, and it kept on getting worse and worse. So my doctor switched me to Ozempic. So now I have done 3.25 milligram shots of Ozempic, and today is day 19 on Ozempic and day 83 on a GLP-1. Let me update you on what's been going on. In my last video, you heard me say that I was not going to ask my doctor. I was making some dietary changes and moving more in hopes of bringing my glucose lower so that I would be able to do the fourth 0.25 milligram shot of Ozempic and then titrate up to the 0.5. Because I definitely need to titrate up. My sugar has been higher and higher and higher. But like my last video, I filmed the day of the third shot. And the next day, typically my sugar does much better. And then the second day after the shot is when my sugar does the best. Well, I had to reach out to my doctor because the day after the shot, my sugar was not doing much better. So it was still escalating quite a lot. And I was starting to get concerned because first of all, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not a healthcare professional. I'm just sharing my experience, what I've researched and learned from others. And whatever you hear that makes you think about something that might work for you, I hope it sparks a conversation with your healthcare team, because they're the ones who know what's best for you. And please consult with them before you make any type of decisions, especially any decision that, stems from watching my videos, right? So anyway, that disclaimer out of the way. I've heard that when sugar goes above 140, it's damaging your body because it's too high. So I started realizing that most of my day I was spending it above 140, to the point that my average daily sugar was 109. Those, like that last week of Mounjaro, I mean, it used to go to 112 the days before the shot. But then I switched to the lower dose of Ozempic due to that reaction that I had. My doctor wanted us to take it slowly, titrating up. But my sugar, my average sugar now is 120, I think it's 128 or even above that, right? So yeah, and even my A1C, the projected A1C was oscillating between 6 and 6.1, and now it's been oscillating between 6.3 and 6.4. And this is just in 3 weeks. So you can imagine that there's been a lot of highs, right? And I'm not feeling well. My vision is not as good as it was when the sugar was lower. These changes in sugar, they do a few things to me. First, they make me very tired. And second, when the sugar spikes up that way and it stays high, it makes me hungrier and I crave carbs. So it's kind of like the downward spiral that starts, but it's also like a vicious cycle. I shouldn't eat a large amount of carbs, but that's what I'm craving when my sugar is high. Why the body does that, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a scientist or medical professional or anything like that, so I don't have the answer to that, but that is definitely what is going on, and it's just very annoying to have to deal with that, right? So I messaged her And I said, listen, I understand that we wanted to do this slowly, but first, I've had no side effects. None at all. If anything, like I've even just lost a little bit more weight, right? I think I'm at a total of 13.5 pounds, whatever I had last time plus 0.5 pounds. I'm not keeping track of the weight all that much. I'm really keeping track of my sugar, and just because it helps me focus on my health journey and not on my weight. I've done so many diets in the past, and every time I focused on the weight, I've lost track of the big picture and of what's important. So I end up losing that and everything else because I'm focused on the wrong thing. I'm focused on being healthier, and of course that will weight loss will ensue, but it is not the main motivator, right? And I'm also a slow loser, so if I focus on the weight, I'm going to be very frustrated because I hear people, even some with diabetes, that lose weight faster, and I'm always going to be trying to compare myself to them, and that's just really not the best for me, right? Comparison is the thief of joy, and I don't want the joy that I receive from being in a GLP-1 medicine to be robbed because I am focusing on the wrong thing. So anyway, I told her, my sugar is just really too high. I'm feeling miserable. I'm not feeling well. I made so many changes, and even that did not help. So let me explain what those changes were. I cut my carbs in half from what the nutritionist told me, and I ran this by my nutritionist, and she was like, okay, that's a great idea. I started being like very much more intentional about getting up every 30 minutes, walking at least for 3 minutes. So what I would do is I would alternate. 30 minutes, I would walk 3 minutes around the house, like a brisk pace. And then the next 30 minutes, I would do 10 minutes of house chores where I'm moving and, like, I don't know, unloading the dishwasher, putting dishes away, or going with a vacuum cleaner, like something that needs to be done around the house, right? And when I go to the supermarket, I don't just go and buy what I'm going to buy. I make sure to give myself ample time, and I just go around all the aisles of the supermarket. So like I'm being like more intentionally active, which is one of the things that I always lacked. And I'm doing all these things, and I've even managed to lose a few more pounds than when I was on Mounjaro. Like with Ozempic, I think I've lost a couple of pounds and a half or something. So, but my sugar is just not doing great, and I'm not feeling well, and I'm worried because I don't want my body to be damaged by this high sugar that I've been having. So she said, yes, let's go ahead and do it, and start your 0.5 dose on Tuesday. I'm filming this on Sunday, so just a couple of days and I'll do that. And thankfully enough though, because every time I ate, my sugar used to go up like anywhere from 30 to 40 points, right? When I was eating consciously, even before having a continuous glucose monitor, even before starting Mounjaro. If I was eating whatever and going crazy, then my sugar was going up, who knows how many points, right? 70, 80, whatever, because I was eating something that I should not be eating, especially flour, which I'm not. I'm staying away from white flour. I'm staying away from potatoes. I'm staying away from rice. So yeah, all that. So just here my lunch, and see if it makes sense that my sugar went up 65 points with this lunch. I had a salad, a mix of greens in the salad, right? It also had some tomatoes. It also had a little bit of onion, because I do know that onions are higher in carbs. It had a little bit of red bell pepper. So, you know, it had cucumbers, right? It has some nice vegetables in it. So I ate my salad, and then I added, for protein, I added turkey breast. I added like 1 cheese stick of cheddar cheese, and I just added like a handful of pistachios, because I'm also just trying to control, to try and be moderate with the fat, but eat enough so that I'm full. Then I did 1/3 cup of yogurt and 1 tablespoon of low sugar, reduced sugar Smuckers, right? So yogurt and the Smuckers was like less than 10 grams of carbs. And my nutritionist said we're not counting carbs from vegetables unless they're starchy vegetables. I had no starchy vegetables, but if you want to say it was 5 grams of carbs in the salad, which it wasn't, but whatever, since there were some pistachio nuts in there, not even enough like to count a whole serving. Like I would say like 1/3 of a serving, and that's being generous. So less than 15 grams of carbs, and my sugar went up 65 points. Ridiculous, too much. It was a very healthy meal. I walked. It went down a little bit, but then it kept on going back up. So it's kind of out of control. It's really not being well managed. And metformin, I'm doing metformin twice a day, in the morning and in the evening, and metformin is helping, but it's not enough, right? The dose of Ozempic is not enough to do much in my body. So I'm happy, I'm excited that I'm titrating up. I really wanted to titrate slowly, but I also want my sugar to be controlled, and it was kind of just going everywhere and just getting worse and worse and worse. Because my second week on Ozempic, my sugar would go up, but not 60 points with salad and like a third of the yogurt that I used to have before, right? So if anything, I'm just lowering things and it's just getting worse. And yeah, so that's what I'm doing. I'm also being very mindful to have at least between 25 and 30 grams of protein per meal, because my nutritionist was saying, she mentioned that it has been shown in research that meals with 25 grams of protein or more help with weight loss. And oh, and I started doing a little bit of resistance training with weights. That was also one of the like commitments in the plan that I had with the diabetes educator. So she said, let's add that. I think resistant exercise is important for you. So yeah, adding all of that, and still my sugar like crazy. So I definitely needed to titrate, and I'm coming in here to just let you guys know that's what I'm doing. In terms of side effects, like I said, I've had none. I really have had none. And hunger, I'm not really getting hungry. I eat when it's my meal time, and if it's been like 5 hours since I haven't had my meal, then I start getting a little bit hungry. But sometimes I've just done 2 meals a day. Other days I've done 3 meals, and I just make sure that they're smaller, especially if I know that I'm going to be back home late. So I'd rather just have like 2 larger meals, so that can carry me over to the next day. But if I'm gonna touch base at home and then go back out, then I do like 3 smaller meals to make sure that I can eat before I head on back out. And that way, like, I'm also switching and changing things for my metabolism, which is a very slow metabolism, as you guys have heard. No, it is. Anyway, all of that, right? And I'm just, I'm here waiting till Tuesday, hopefully getting my a higher dose and starting to see the benefits in my sugar. Like, if it doesn't start going down, I just don't want it to continue going up. So I also was battling with a cold, and I know that sugar goes up a little bit when the body is dealing with an illness. At least that's what they've told me, right? My diabetes specialist, she's a registered nurse, and she was the one who shared that information with me. But yeah, but that's done. And the sugar is still all over the place. And especially the few days before the shot, I can't even tell you how crazy it gets. So on a good note, I've been pinching myself with Ozempic pen since there's no auto injector. I'm managing the doses and the prep nicely. Like, that's fine with me. I don't have an issue with that anymore. And I'm just being very mindful and just eating my meals. Like in the morning, I might have a couple of eggs, and again, like 1/3 cup of yogurt, and some fruit. And then for lunch, like typically a salad or something of the sort. And then for dinner, some protein, whether it's pork, beef. I don't like chicken all that much, so I stay away from chicken, or fish. The other day I was doing sardines for breakfast in olive oil. And yeah, that's kind of like where I am right now. My lab work is going to be done next Monday, not tomorrow, but the following Monday. And I know that the A1C results are not going to be that great because of these 3 weeks that I've been on Ozempic. But I'm hoping that all my other things come back nice, right? And I'll report back to you guys. But again, you know, still, I can't say terrible. I'm still hopeful, excited, and I'm looking forward to raising my titrating up and just sharing with you guys how that's going. So most likely I will do another video the day after the shot, see if the titration has made a difference in terms of side effects and how I'm feeling, and I'll keep you guys posted. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Before you go though, please leave a comment down below and let me know what pen you're on. I'm curious because I know that some of you guys are on Mounjaro, other of you are on Ozempic, and some of you are on compound. So I'm really curious all the time to kind of know where you are. And please feel free to share about your journey and how that's gone for you. I always love reading your comments and I reply to them. I do. So please tell me, how's this going for you? Again, thank you so much. Take care and have a wonderful rest of your week.